Hi everybody and welcome to Teliko Vima English. Today we're trying to make sure our audio is working. Today we're trying to focus on object lessons. It's a little windy out today and there's great stability it seems with the camera, but it's a little bouncy still. I'm walking towards my aunt's home. There's a lot of great aesthetics to see while we're talking about this, but object lessons. These are things in our lives that can serve to point out things in our lives that may need attention. One of those things in an example would be like this. Say every day you're walking on your way to work and you see a home that's abandoned, broken down. Every day you walk to work, you see it. You walk home from work, you see it. And then one day a gust of wind comes and the roof from that home falls down. And at that moment you notice, you see it, but you consider it well. You look at it, but you receive instruction at that very moment. And you think, I need to fix my roof. I have a leak in my roof and I've been avoiding it, putting it off. And it can actually lead to my roof being more and more damaged. So that becomes an object lesson. What you've seen every day fits a certain aspect of your life. There are objects, literally, that could be a lesson, like a pencil. You could look at a pencil and think, wow, this is like life. The most precious thing is inside. And if I make mistakes, there's a way to correct it with the eraser. You can look at it a number of ways, if you stop and think. And I believe that one of the problems with, I would say many people, not most people, but many people, is that they're not really considering things well. Between social media and other things, we become very passive in what we listen to and what we see. So we see it. We look, but we don't see it, I should say. We look, but we don't see it. We listen. We hear things, but we don't listen. Let's say it like that. We look, but we don't really see it. We hear things, but we don't really listen. And this is a passive interaction. If you're watching TV, after a while, you'll just accept whatever you see is real because your eyes are overstimulated by multiple camera angles and jumping back and forth. And your ears are sometimes challenged by high levels, low levels, high levels, low levels. If you're watching TV, you'll notice that on commercials. The commercials are really loud compared to the regular program. And you don't realize that this is happening, but it fatigues your ears. It tires them out. It tires out your eyes. And eventually you become passive at looking, passive at hearing, and you accept what you see as real. That's why some movies can really stimulate our emotions because we think, wow, it's so believable. You do enough of this. Social media, surfing, movie watching, TV watching, all of this creates a habit and you start to see things differently. Then the things that you hear or see on those sources becomes the source of truth to you in essence, and you believe whatever you see. The more times you hear something, the more you'll tend to believe it, even if logic tries to intervene and say that it's not true. The more times you hear it, the more you'll give value to it. Even if at first you reject it, you keep hearing it, you'll start to accept it. So object lessons are really important. Really important. And it's important when you see something that moves you emotionally to take some time to stop and think and consider it well. What does it mean to you? Why are you seeing it? Is there something in your life that it's addressing? Is it an illustration? An object lesson. As we're walking here, I've never been down here before. There's a river down here. It says no trespassing over there, but people I live with say they come down here all the time. So we shall take a venture here. No fishing or hunting, so I don't plan to do that. But there's a river down here, and it should give us some decent aesthetics and silence from the cars and stuff. And I want you to consider object lessons in your life. Like a mirror. A mirror only shows you what it's reflecting. What object lesson is that? Well, if you want to have good friends, you need to be a good friend so that you project the things you want to reflect. You need to project things you want to reflect. Object lessons, a mirror. It could be an object lesson of a tea bag. A tea bag is, you don't know what's in it until you put it in hot water. What does that mean? Well, you don't know the quality of character of someone or your relationship until it's under duress, under stress. And then you might see the quality or character of it once you've seen that under stress or duress. Does that make sense? I'm hoping that this microphone filter is blocking the wind. Looks like a little bike ramp there. Object lessons, everybody. Object lessons. It's important to train your brain to think and consider things, to weigh it with logic, to filter it through logic, and try to comprehend it in a deeper, more meaningful way. Object lessons. Think about it. Think about it as we walk down here by the river. What object lessons have happened in your life? There's another example. King Solomon, arguably the wisest man who's ever lived. And he once said, when he was going by a field, remember the times were very agriculture. That means they grew they grew things, they grew vegetables and things like that. So he saw a field that he called a lazy man's field. He saw that the field was not sowed, it wasn't developed, it was not cared for, and therefore it would not produce or yield the crop that it should have yielded when it comes time for harvest. Because the lazy man, the sluggard, did not break up the ground when the winter was ending, did not sow seeds. So by the time the rains came, he hurriedly sowed something, but it was too late. He had not prepared it for the proper time. So at first he saw the field and he considered it well. Instantly, he knew the reason was because of laziness. But then he looked back on the field and he received instruction. What does that mean? Well, first, he judged. He judged the field. Oh, that guy's lazy, you know. He didn't do what he was supposed to do when he was supposed to do it. It's not a big, intelligent move there. Didn't take him much to figure that out. He kind of knew that. But then he looked at it and he said, wait, what does this mean to me? What is this saying to me? What part of my life am I not allowing to be broken? Am I not allowing to be dismantled so that when the next season comes, I'll be ready to receive? Think about it. Think about it. Sometimes we resist change. We resist difficult times. We run away from painful emotion. Think about it. And all the while, we need those times, those challenges, those difficult emotions, those strenuous situations to break parts of us up, to break us up and prepare us for the next things that are coming. Trying to find a way down here. Maybe here? Let's try it, guys. A little sketchy, but let's try it. I should have taken the bridge down there. Let's go. No, keep thinking about it. What part of your life have you not allowed to be broken up so that you'd be ready for the seasons? Drop my glasses. So that you would be ready for the other seasons. This is usually wet. I made it. Let's take a look, guys. How beautiful is this, right? Beautiful, beautiful. Isn't it nice? So as we talk about this and keep recording, I want you to think about it. What part of your life are we connecting? Okay. What part of your life are you not allowing to be broken up? And without breaking it up, you can't be prepared for the new season. Object lessons. Look at something, consider it well, come to a conclusion, but resist judging. And then after that, look at it again and say, what am I being shown here? What do I need to do? What do I need to do in my life to be prepared so that I can receive the abundance? You sow time, you sow money, you invest effort in so many things. And without having a purpose, without going through all the seasons, you won't be able to receive the new growth in the spring, without going through the fall that strips away the leaves, without going through the winter that gives the tree and the ground rest. Without preparing the ground, the rain will just come and roll off. But if you prepare the ground, then it will receive the rain. It will produce growth with the seeds, and there will be a harvest in due season. Right? Does that make sense? I really hope that this audio is recording after all this, but we'll see. I wanted to just position the camera here and give this reflection to you guys, but now that I know the DJI mics work, especially on a windy day like today, and the audio is fairly decent, I will record more of these, going over the slides that we prepared for our live stream, touching on the points, maybe giving illustrations, examples, to help you really understand what is meant by the information, so you have something to access when we're not doing the live stream, right? Object lessons, teabag, mirror, pencil. What's your object lesson? Have you learned all the object lessons that are in your life? There's the bridge. I think I'm going to go by the bridge and take the route back up to the walkway. Let's see. This river is controlled by a dam. So when the dam is full, they release water and it comes down through here. If there's a lot, it goes up in here. You see where the ground has been hit by water before, but right now it's down. It's not low, it's not dry, but definitely ready for it to be released again. I may take some of these rocks and do something creative with them, take them to the new grave site. A lot of rocks down here. This is a better way to go. Lesson learned, right? Object lesson. You take the long way around. All right. Okay, back up the hill. Here we go.